Just
all of
peed.
you have a great day.
And yourself. You take care. It's been a pleasure. Take care.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam. That was nice, mashallah.
What a lovely start.
Oh, honestly, and in the words of Monty Python, and now for something completely different.
Yes. Man.
So
it's vegan game.
Yeah. So I'm familiar with.
1 second. Right. I'm going to give you a minute to make your point. Yeah. 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Do you have to remove that email from the screen, Hamza? It's just.
I'm sorry.
The email. Do you want to remove that from the screen?
I'm going to remove that. Yeah.
Not this.
Oops. All right. So start now. Go.
So you've made the claim that morality is objective and is created by God because by definition objective means mind independent and God has a mind. You've made an error here where objective is a misnomer, as morality could not possibly be objective where it requires a mind to exist. You can make descriptive claims that are objective, like if humans were to follow God or Allah's moral principles, they will experience more well-being and avoid suffering. But the belief that well-being is good and suffering is bad, that is subjective, and that is a set of subjective preferences that would require a mind to exist. Now, God may be smarter and wiser and know the best way to live in which would generate the most well-being. But again, the idea that the outcomes God is looking for are good is a subjective preference and thus not objective. So your use of the word objective when you talk about morality is a misnomer. And I would, just because I'm not sure if all of you are familiar with my beliefs, I'm atheist.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to let you take this, Ismail. Yeah, but just quickly.
No.
Yeah, this is yours, Ismail. Okay. What do you mean objective? How do you understand the word objective?
Well, again, I defined objective as independent of a mind. Subjective is dependent of a mind. That's how the definition is.
Independent of a mind definition from?
Sorry?
Where'd you get the definition of objective from?
Well, I mean, that's the established definition that's used in philosophy. I believe if you look up any like modern English dictionary, they use essentially the same definition.
Can you quote one?
Okay, like I'll look up Merriam-Webster, maybe.
Yeah, let's see what it says. Remember what you said, without mind, yeah? Objective.
Mind, yeah.
Yeah, so expressing or dealing with facts or conditions as perceived without distortion by personal feelings, prejudices, or interpretations. So that is a different way of saying it, but that is independent of a mind.
No, it didn't say independent of mind. You just added it. You just added it in there. How can you even reading the definition requires a mind?
Right, but
so you can't even know what is objective without the mind. Is that what I'm saying? Or you can't even know subjective without the mind. You can't know anything.
So again,
if you don't have a mind, you're dead.
Right. So in order to experience something, you need a mind.
Did you understand his argument?
Yeah,
well, I mean, make an argument. So
never said, no. How would I make an argument if I never spoke?
So
exactly.
I don't know what he's responding to because
well, Hashim was talking. I thought you were talking.
What I'm saying is, without the faculty of reasoning, which requires your mind, obviously, you cannot even be alive.
Right, but that doesn't deal with the logical issue of you claiming.
Well, you won't have logic if you're not alive, my friend. It's irrelevant. Everything is irrelevant if you're not alive.
Right, that doesn't deal with the logical issue of you claiming morality.
Exactly, you need a mind to even process logic.
Okay, well, you're not really engaging with the argument I made.
I think you're just ignoring what I'm saying. You don't even realize it.
Well, you're ignoring what I'm saying.
You just said you didn't make an argument. Now you're saying we're not engaging with the argument.
Yeah.
Well, again...
Did you make an argument or not?
So you're the one who's claimed morality is some sort of objective truth from God.
Did you make an argument or not?
Sorry?
Did you make an argument?
Yes.
Right, so what's your argument?
Okay, well, I just read it out. Like, do you want me to formalize it?
Yes.
In like a syllogism?
Yes.
Okay, P1, let's see, God has a mind.
Just cut this.
P2.
Yeah, we reject that.
Sorry?
We reject that, man.
That's why you reject P1, God has a mind?
Yes, because here's the thing, man. You come with recycled Christian arguments of evil, Euthyphro's dilemma stuff. You don't bother to read any of our theology. You don't bother to read how Muslims have They've been dealing with this for 1400 years. You don't bother to look that there's a reason why the problem of evil has historically not been anywhere near as big of a problem in our history than
I'm not talking
in the
about
Christian
the problem
faith.
of
I
evil.
get that. No, it is the problem of. I mean, you're based. No, it basically this is a tangent off of this. That's why I'm just tackling the base. It is. Yeah,
no, it's not. It has nothing to do with the problem of evil. Do you even know what the problem of evil is?
No, you're going to have to be quiet while he's talking.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't interrupt, I do. I know the logical problem of evil, the evidentialist. I know Euthyphro's dilemma.
Yeah, and this has nothing to do with that.
Yes, it does, because it has a point to. It's a tangent off of Euthyphro's dilemma, where Euthyphro's dilemma, for people who don't know, is basically this dichotomy. Is something morally good because God commands it, or does God command it because it is morally good? So what you're saying is, what's it called? The good of God is the objective standard. The moral standard of God is based on a subject, i.e., God. Yeah, that's why if you've engaged in any of the Muslim literature,
so I'm right.
No, we're not. Oh my goodness. I'm acknowledging what you're stating. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm telling you, because you claim.
Well, you just stated that God is.
Can you not interrupt, sir? Can you not interrupt? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure.
So you claim that I don't understand what you're talking about. You claim that this has nothing to do with the problem of evil. I've just disproven both your claims. So take them back or don't proceed.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you pretty well. So you made two claims. The first claim. I don't know. By the Hamza, why is this camera off? Was this did you turn it off by accident? Because I don't think we turned it off.
No.
It might have been Brother Hamza accidentally might have turned it off because he turned off his. Maybe.
Right. Okay. I see.
Yeah. No worries. The point is, you made two claims. The first claim was problem of this has nothing to do with the problem of evil. Do you even know what the problem of evil was? Showed you that I do know what the problem of evil was in all its three forms that we're talking about here. You said that this has nothing to do with the problem of evil. I've demonstrated that it's a tangent off of Euthyphro's dilemma. Then you admitted that I understand your position when you already made a claim that I don't know what I'm talking about with regards to your position. So you made three claims. I've disproved all three. Now, are you ready to admit and take back everything you said, or are we not going to proceed?
Okay, sure. You know what the problem of evil is. So again, the logical issue here is that...
Do you admit that you've been wrong so far in the last three claims, the only three claims you've made so far?
Well, like, is that ignoring the proposition I made?
Sure. I'm just asking a simple question. Can you answer?
Well, I'm asking a simple question. Is that ignoring the proposition I made at the beginning?
No, you've made three claims. I've shown you that you're erroneous. You acknowledge that they're wrong.
I'm just asking if that has to do with the proposition I made at the beginning.
No, we're not going to move to the proposition unless I show that you're
this has nothing to do with the proposition
not disingenuous. No, it does, because did you make three claims or did you not?
Okay, I made a proposition at the beginning where I had a 1 minute, allotted amount of time. I'm not saying I'm wrong there. But as far as my claim that you don't know what the problem of evil is, whatever, sure. I was wrong. I guess you know that.
Yeah, no, not just that. I've already said you've made three separate. I didn't. Look,
you know what? I'm not really interested in arguing about whether you know the problem of evil or not. Like, I'm only really interested in arguing the proposition I made.
It's like you can't even not straw man what I'm saying. I did it. You're like choosing to like obfuscate and like try to demean my points by just sticking to some. Like,
I'm the one obfuscating?
Yes, you are. So because
you're the one who's not talking about the proposition.
My friend, we won't even move to the proposition. If you've made three accusations, I've shown you clear and obvious to everybody watching.
Is a question an accusation?
No, you've made three claims.
So I asked you if you knew what the problem of evil is. That's not an accusation. No, that's a question.
No. You made three separate claims. You said this is, first of all, not a you said, first of all, do you know the problem? First of all, no, actually, you said this has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Then when I said this is a tangent off of Euthyphro's dilemma, you said, no, it's not. And this has nothing to do with the problem of evil. And then you said, do you even know what the problem of evil is? So sure, you want to say two claims and then maybe a sarcastic rhetorical question? Fine. point is that if you're not genuine
okay, sure,
enough,
you're right about everything. Can we continue along with the actual conversation? Like, I'm not really interested in debating about the debate.
Okay, now that you admit, no, I mean, it's important to have decorum, etiquette, and to show that you're not somebody who's just here to debate for no reason.
Okay,
Look,
that's great. I agree. Can we actually debate now?
Yes, we can. I mean, I'd appreciate if you don't police my speech and learn how to not interrupt. Thanks. So, point is that by the way, I'll let you speak. Of course, I'm not going to interrupt you. So, point is that if you've engaged in the way we, as Muslims, tackle the supposed dichotomy and supposed issue of Euthyphro's dilemma, this tangent that you're bringing, you'd know, is not a problem for us. So, have you engaged at all with what we as Muslims, like how we deal with this at all, or no? Because there's no point of me debating somebody who's not at all engaged. I'm more than happy to teach you our position, but then there's no point in us debating when the other side hasn't even begun to engage with the content.
Okay, can I talk now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So what do you want from me now exactly?
Okay, so
seriously, are you trolling or what?
Like,
you just were complaining about things I said about the debate. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about now.
Let me just interject here just to clarify something to both of you. You see, have you engaged with the Muslim literature on this subject?
Well, no, and I don't think I really need to, because I'm here to debate your perspective, regardless
of
whether or not it's Muslim
you don't
or
know
not.
the content.
So you're doing a critique on something you've not read?
Sorry.
This is serious, man.
Okay, sorry. Like, I made a proposition, and I'm here to argue.
No.
If you feel like you have an argument against my proposition, then go for it. I don't know how it's relevant whether or not I've read up on Muslim literature.
My friend, your first premise is literally an assumption about a Muslim theological position.
So you can reject the first premise.
Pause, please. Look, I'm sure you've debated many people on veganism, on many other issues. I'm sure you're interested in philosophy, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm sure you'd know, if you're a good debater, there's no point of debating somebody who is, you can't argue with stupid necessarily, or not stupid, ignorant or uneducated on a topic. You could teach somebody that doesn't know, that's fine. So I'm not, by the way, I'm not saying this to demean, I'm not calling you stupid or anything. The reason I'm asking you, have you engaged with the Islamic position, is so that I know basically how much do you know, because your first premise entails that you've done some research, you've engaged with Islamic positions, and that's why your first premise is assuming a specific Islamic theological position on God.
Right, so you understand that you can reject the first premise and we can argue that, right?
Yeah, but did you understand the first half of what I said? Did you understand the first half of what I said? I'm not interested in arguing.
It's a yes or no question. Do you reject P1 or not?
I already gave you we rejected in the beginning of this conversation. However, that's not the point.
So you reject P1.
The point is,
God does not have a mind.
But yes,
okay, we do reject that. Argue that. I would argue God does have a mind, and you believe that.
No, I mean, okay, look, that's the problem is you can't argue because you've admitted that you've done.
Well, I can't argue because you just keep filibustering. But if you allow a discussion to occur, we can argue.
Oh my goodness!
Speaking do you believe in God?
No,
laughable.
Well, how can you be arguing God has a mind?
So in the Quran, there's many references to God having emotions like anger. So if something has anger, it would have a mind, correct?
So this is the point. Are you arguing God has a mind because of what the Quran says? Are you doing an internal critique?
I mean, it's not really relevant to either internal or external. Let me
tell you why it is relevant. The internal critique. It's the funny thing is he admits boldly that he's done zero reading on this position in Islam or any. It seems so, but he's doing an internal critique, which is like it's nuts. Like, I actually thought, to be honest with you, because like I know you're somebody that does philosophy debates on veganism and stuff. I thought, however, to be honest, like this is this is a standard atheist
you believe in the Quran
approach. online. So, but, sir, you wouldn't be able to explain what's in the Quran because you just
Do you
admitted
believe
that
in the Quran or not?
you've done zero engagement. Of course, I believe in the Quran.
Okay, well, the
problem
Quran
is
says
you-
God feels anger, so in order to feel anger, you would have to have a mind, correct?
with all due respect, you've engaged in exactly zero amount of Quranic exegesis. So I'd
Okay,
appreciate
well, that's
it.
great. I haven't. So, do you believe in the Quran? You've answered
No.
yes. Do
Come
you
back when
acknowledge
you
that
have.
in the Quran
What
it
we are
states that
saying
God
is,
can
come
be
back when
angry?
you have.
Sorry?
Vegan Games, it seems that you've literally listened to me for I don't know how long now, and you've yet to capture the whole point, which I've been reiterating to you many times, which is I am asking about your level of engagement to determine whether there is a debate to be had. I don't know about you,
I'm
but it's quite
engaging
standard.
as much as I can, but you're not interested in actually arguing the topic. You just keep asking me whether or not I'm a
Because-
Muslim scholar.
No. You're engaging in the wrong thing. You're interested in engaging in a debate on something you have never engaged in, academically or even research or read
Yeah,
even
I
as a
can't
hobby.
because you won't argue with me.
No, how you learn is not trying to debate somebody who has learned the material. No, I mean, this is your basic debate
Well,
like
I don't need
practice.
to have
You
much
go-
of an understanding of the material. Like you do.
Really?
Like all I need to know is whether or not you believe in the Quran and whether or not the Quran has made statements that would suggest God has a mind. And
How do you understand what the Quran says?
okay, well, I've seen English translations, and there are several mentions of God feeling emotions like anger. So, in order
Yes,
to feel
do you
anger, that
think-
would necessitate a mind, correct?
So do you think that you could just pick up a Quran and start performing exegesis of verses willy-nilly
So
based on your
do
whims
you
and
believe
desires?
the writings in the Quran to be accurate?
Oh boy. Do you understand?
the
Like,
writings in the Quran to be accurate? Yes or no?
are they preserved? Absolutely, yes.
Okay, and does an emotion like anger necessitate a mind? For something to feel anger, does it need a
Oh
mind?
boy. My friend, did you just understand what we just explained
You're not.
to you?
Okay,
Your
that's a yes or no
understanding-
question, and
Okay,
now
your
you're dodging again.
understanding- We're not dodging. We're giving you a very clear cut.
You're
Oh my
dodging.
God,
I
it's
asked you a yes or no question, and you can't even answer. Does an emotion like anger necessitate a mind?
But Hamza, do you understand the principle that I'm laying out here?
Yeah,
Is it maybe-
can't,
maybe-
like maybe I could
maybe-
debate Hamza or Mansur because he's not even willing to answer yes or no questions, like very simple ones.
I got a brilliant idea.
If you're still listening,
Wow.
do some reading of our literature,
Wow.
scholastic literature in terms of what we believe.
Wow. That is cowardice to level 9,000.